You can see here that my skid steer is in the shop. It's my hot time of the year and I need the skid steer for a lot of things right now. It's late September and the boom lift quit working. The curl bucket, after some preliminary checking, will work and function as long as the lift boom solenoid is disconnected. So I deduced from that it's not the console module. So what I found was, as I started looking and digging into this, is that the boom solenoid had cracked all the way down the side and it was no longer functioning. So I had to drop the skid plate, I had to get underneath, I had to get the old boom solenoid off. Parts came, I got a new solenoid. I had two options. First is to get a new part and put on it because I'm 95% certain that that's it after doing all the checking I've done. The other option would be to take the block apart and somehow plug it and let the hydraulic fluid flow through all the time. But that option would have dropped hydraulic fluid on the floor. It would have made a mess. And I don't know if I could have actually fixed it that way. I wouldn't know until I tried it. So I figured it was better to bite the bullet, buy the part, put the new part in, and go back to work. This is the old boom solenoid. Now what this does is inside of here, there was a coil of wrapped copper, almost like a motor. It now looks like this. It was all neatly packaged in this piece. I pulled it all out. I completely destroyed the solenoid getting it apart. But this right here is where the crack was. And you can see that that crack has been there for a long time. The only thing I can figure is that over time, this must have heated up and actually finally went to a dead short. And the module wouldn't recognize that because there was no flow through it. So this piece, I believe, is the culprit. This is the new piece, as it should look. Now where this crack had originally come was right up through here. And it was completely parted. And there's a liner around this that's metal. And inside is that coil of wire. And one of these probes goes to the outside, and one of these probes goes to the coil inside. At least everything I've been able to decipher tells me that. So it creates a magnetic field, and it goes over a bolt inside, up underneath the machine, which you'll see in a minute, and this actually activates that to open and close either a plunger or it's a roll tube. It's called the spool roll is what it's called. So I'm thinking that maybe it turns a little sideways. It may actually spin that, or it may pop a solenoid and a plunger together to open and close that valve. I don't know exactly, but I know this is the piece that I have to put on and reconnect to my machine to make it operate. Now I don't know how well you can see this. Now probably block some of your light, but this is the block here where the fluid runs, the hydraulic fluid. This piece here is what they call the roll spool. This rod is the one that solenoid goes on. And there's a plug here to plug it in. So our job is going to be to get that on. All right, so let's put it on, see how it fits. Now I've cleaned this here some. The old one, I had to completely destroy it to get it out. It was no good anyway, so I didn't lose anything by doing that. This has to come up on here and seat. This is threaded and the nut goes on there. Now the marking on here says Hydroforce and all that. That was on the bottom of the old one. So that's how we're going to put this one on. So let's see if we can get this puppy up in here and get this project done. And it seems to be going
Well, I'm going to have to take it back off. And I'm going to have to lose that washer on top. I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything on that, actually, except the nut itself. All right, let's gently screw this on. All right, the part is mounted. And I test fitted this plug so I know it'll go together. It's just really hard down here to do this. All right, the plug is plugged. Everything looks good. The new unit is on. The plug there is together and the bolt on the end is tight. So now comes the time of truth. Will this activate my boom? Let's go up and put the seat in and see what happens.
The new solenoid is in. The seat's in. The seat's plugged up. All the restraint stuff is done. Let's see what happens. So far my solenoid, or my control module, is telling me that everything's fine. Let's heat this thing up and see what happens. Now there are two solenoids on this unit. The one I replaced, I'm not going to be able to show it to you exactly, but this plug right here runs up under here, and there's another solenoid right back in there. That is for the bucket. So this machine is now fixed, and I hope that might have helped somebody, because I've had some people interested in this machine because there's other people out there that own these, and I've had questions on this machine. So I hope that if you ever have a problem with your New Holland skid steer, the L553, 554, 555, and then they run up to I think 70 or 80 series. I hope this helps you, because these are kind of a hybrid. They don't have a computer in them. They have that control module you saw, and that control module looks for everything to be in place before to let the machine operate. So that new solenoid was the problem, and now it is not. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to comment on this and let me know, and I'll try and help you in any way I can. Anyway, this is fixed. All I got to do is put the skid plate back on. I've got the skid plate placed on this jack, and I've got it up, and I've got all the bolts just started. This piece here is the skid plate that covers the whole front end. So now
time to tighten these bolts up. The back is done. All right, let's get these other ones.
Seems like I've had this seat in and out of here like 12,000 times. But it's got to come back out because I got to put the sound dampener under it and get that all squared up. And it's not only that, it's heavy. All right, you can see all the stuff under there. This piece goes here to sound dampen and keep the heat off. Hopefully this is the last time for a long time that I have to put this seat in. Man, this thing is a bear. And if you look over the back of the seat here, you can see that slot. It's hard, but that's where it goes, right there. And this is the same thing. It's sound dampening and heat. And it sets down in here behind, just like that. And this piece goes down here, comes up in here and clips in and there. All right, we got this piece all in. Everything's in behind it. Now these little band clips here come over and clip there and clip there, and that holds this piece in place here in this clip. Oh, wait a minute, it's not hooked in that one. Hang on. There, it's hooked. Okay. Now we have to plug this plug here back into there, and that is for all the restraint system. It's time for me to jack this thing up and get it on the ground and get it out of here. Okay, it's on the ground there. All right, my skid steer is all done. It's out of the shop. Everything is functional. It's working great. So this is fixed. And oh, by the way, somebody wanted to know in a comment section what engine's in this. It's a Kubota. It's a V902. It is apparently the biggest engine that they put in these at the time. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.